Welcome to T1 Academy. In our last CSAT series, we discussed about the permutation, combination and probability. So today in this session, we are going to discuss about clocks. See students, definitely every year they are asking one question from this topic called clocks. So we can expect the same question this year also. And one more thing, easy to answer concept. So we should score at any cost the question, marks from this area. We should not lose marks from this clocks concept. Why? Because definitely they will ask one question and that to the easiest one among the remaining questions. So keeping that thing in our mind, we will learn the concept of clocks first and then we will try to solve the problems, previous year problems from this concept called clocks. Okay. Now see here, in this clocks concept, see generally in our clocks, the day-to-day clock which we use, we will have three hands. One is minute hand, hour hand and the second hands. But in our concept, in our clocks concept, we will have only two hands. We will consider only two hands. One is hour hand and the other one is minute hand. Okay, we will consider only two hands, hour hand and minute hand. And next thing, we will always consider our dial in a circular shape. See, nowadays there are different types of dials which we can see in market. We are receiving some square shape, rectangle shape, triangular shape. But in our concept, we always consider our dial shape in a circular manner. The reason behind that is the axis, the rotational axis of these two hands of the clock will be always in a circular manner. Because of that reason, we will consider the dial of a circle always in a circular manner. We already know that the shorter one is hour hand and the longer one is a minute hand. Okay. Now, when it comes to this circular dial, it was divided into 12 equal parts. We all know this is divided into 12 portions. Okay. So, when you divide a circle into 12 equal portions, see a circle contains how many degrees? Total 360 degrees, right? So, this 360 degrees is divided into 12 equal parts. 12 equal parts. So, one part will be equal to what? So, each section will be equal to 30 degrees. What does this 30 degrees here means? See here from this center, if I observe the angle between these two positions, here the angle becomes 30 degrees. Similarly, if I take the angle between 8 and 7, this portion's angle will be equal to 30 degrees. Like this, the angle between any two portions will be equal to 30 degrees. 30 degrees. Okay. Understood? Next. In this circle, in this concept, one more thing which we need to observe is, see here students, we all know two basic things. When a hand, whether it is hour hand or minute hand, when it moves from, for example, if this is the position of my minute hand, from this position to if it moved this position, if it come to this position, see how many positions it changed here? Two parts, right? That means it will travel what distance here? 60 degrees. It will travel what distance here? 60 degrees. Why? Because 2 and 4, between these two we have two portions. So, each portion is equal to 30 degrees. So, it will travel what distance here? 60 degrees. The distance means here students, this angular distance only. Okay. Nothing more than that. Now, come to the major concept. Now, here the most important thing which we need to discuss here is hour hand speed and minute hand speed. Based on this only, our entire clocks concepts depends here. Okay. Now, what is this hour hand speed and what is this minute hand speed? We will see that one. Okay. Hour hand speed and minute hand speed. Hour hand speed. First, we will go with the hour hand speed. Now, usually what is the formula for speed? Distance traveled by time taken. Distance traveled by time taken. Here, what is the distance which we generally consider is angular distance only. Okay, no need to worry. So, in 1 hour, my hour hand will move from one position to other position, right? See, if I take in this manner, okay, in 1 hour, for example, now the time is some 2 o'clock. If the time is some 2 o'clock, in 1 hour, what happens to my hour hand? It will move from here to here, right? From 2 to 3, it will move from 2 to 3. That means it will cover what distance? Usually distance by speed, distance by time. Speed is equal to distance by time. So, distance is what for us here? 30 degrees. And what is the time? 1 hour, right? 1 hour. Okay, good. So, that one I will further divide it 30 degrees by 60 minutes. Okay, 30 degrees by 60 minutes. From this what it becomes? Half degree per minute. That means my hour hand will cover what distance for every 1 minute? My hour hand will cover half degree in every 1 minute. My hour hand will cover half degree for every 1 minute. Understood? Okay, good, super. When it comes to my minute hand speed, what will happen to my minute hand? See here students, when it comes to my hour hand, in 1 hour, it will travel from one position to other position, right? Now similarly tell me, in 1 hour, what is the distance covered by my minute hand? It will go a complete rotation, right? Am I correct or not? It will come from 12, it will start and it will end at 12. That means it will travel total how much distance? 360 degrees. So same thing here, speed is equal to 360 degrees by 1 hour. So 360 degrees by 60 minutes. So what you will get here? 0, 0, 8 cancel, 6, 1, 6, 6. So it will cover what distance? 6 degree per minute. That means the speed of my minute hand is here how much? 6 degree per minute. When it comes to my hour hand, it will cover half degree for every 1 minute. When it comes to my minute hand, it will cover what distance? 6 degree per every 1 minute. Understood? So in this manner, we are going to find this hour hand speed and minute hand speed. Next, where this hour hand speed and minute hand speed is helpful for us. See here students, in this entire clocks concept, we will have only one formula, standard formula, that is angle between two hands of the clock. So first of all, we will see what is the angle between two hands of the clock. Angle between two hands of the clock. First of all, we should know the meaning of this one. What is the angle between two hands of the clock? See, in a clock, okay, for example, the time is some 2:40. Okay, now the time is some 2:40. So 2:40 means where my hour hand will be there? My hour hand will be between 2 and 3. Okay, good, superb. My hour hand will be between 2 and 3. When it comes to my minute hand, it will be on 8, exactly on 8. So like this, we will have the angle between my two hands of the clock. The positions of my two hands of the clock will be in this manner. Okay, good. Now tell me, which one I should consider as angle between two hands of the clock? Should I consider this as angle between the two hands of the clock, or should I consider this as my angle between two hands of the clock? See, by just looking the case, sometimes we may or may not tell our answer, students. See, if you observe carefully, in this case, in this particular case, yes, I can say specifically that my alpha will become the angle between two hands of the clock. But sometimes we may say or we cannot say. But usually the angle between two hands of the clock means which one we should consider. Sir, should we consider this one or this one? Means the shortest one. Okay, angle between two hands of the clock means nothing but the shortest distance between the two hands of the clock. For example, sometimes this will be shortest, sometimes this will be shortest. Whichever the value is lesser, we will consider that as angle between two hands of the clock, students. Understood? So angle between two hands of the clock means nothing but the shortest distance between two hands of the clock. See here, distance in the sense angular distance only, we will get the answers in angles only. Clock. Now, and next one more thing, students. What is the maximum angle between two hands of the clock? Tell me. From this observation, I told you that the shortest distance between two hands of the clock will be considered as angle between two hands of the clock. So from this understanding, tell me what is the maximum angle possible between two hands of the clock? The maximum angle possible between two hands of the clock is 180 degrees. 180 degrees is nothing but a straight line. What will happen, sir, after this 180? For example, if you consider this as hour hand and this is minute hand. Now these are the two positions. Now if you check here, this will be 180 degrees. If you check here, this will be 180 degrees. Okay, good, superb. Now when time passes, at some point, immediately my minute hand will come to this position, right? Now this angle will become 179 degrees and this upper one will become 181 degrees. Now tell me which one you will consider? You will consider this 179 degrees. You will consider this 179. Because of that reason, we always consider the maximum angle between two hands of the clock is 180 degrees. Okay, so the maximum angle between two hands of the clock should be 180 degrees. If for example, while calculating what happens here students, sometimes we may get a value greater than 180. In that case, what we need to do? Simply subtract it from 360 degrees. Okay, write as a note or write it as a continuity for that one. If while calculating, if we get a value greater than 180 degrees, then we call usually it as reflex angle, or generally we can say that subtract it from 360 degrees and write the answer. That means, for example, if you get a value as 190 degrees, then 190 degrees will not be our answer. Then what we need to do? 360 minus 190 degrees, and we will write our answer as 170 degrees. We will write our answer as 170 degrees. Understood students? The reason is, this is the reason. Immediately the maximum possible is a straight line. After straight line, obviously it will once again start decreasing from the other end. In one end it increases, from the other end it will decrease. So if you get a value greater than 180 degrees, that means if you get an answer 180.5 also, please subtract it from 360 and write your answer as 179.5 degrees. Understood? The maximum angle possible between two hands of the clock will be 180 degrees. Okay sir, good, done. We know some basic things about the angle between two hands of the clock. Next, when it comes to how we are going to find the angle between two hands of the clock, for that we have one formula. Okay, what is that formula is? We will go with a standard time and we will go with a example also. We will see. I will go with that example. Okay, our standard procedure is, see here, let us assume that time be x hours, y minutes. For your better understanding, I am using a general case students. Okay, let us assume that my time is some x hours, y minutes. Okay, good. Next, I will take a random example, some 220. And at the same time, I will go with a number so that you can easily understand. Now, what is called this angle between means? Angle between two hands of the clock. Okay, good sir, very simple. Now, what happens is, see here, how we will find the angle between two hands of the clock. Okay, this is the only one formula student. You can actually remember the formula, but for your understanding, we will discuss it more detailedly. Okay, right. Now, see here, now my time is what? 2:20. So, where will be my hour hand? My hour hand will be between 2 and 3. Why? Because see here, at exactly 2 o'clock, my hour hand will be on 2. But when the time is 2:20, it will start moving towards 3, right? It will start moving towards 3. Will it stay only on 2? No. It will slowly start moving towards 3. So, that means where will be my hour hand? My hour hand will be between 2 and 3, somewhere here. When it comes to my minute hand, it will be on exactly at 4. Why? Because time is 2:20. Time is 2:20. Okay, now how we are going to find the angle between two hands of the clock means, see here students, from here we will calculate the angle covered by my minute hand or hour hand. See, in this example, my minute hand travelled more distance than my hour hand, but in some other cases my hour hand may travel more distance than my minute hand. We will see that also. And I will find the same thing, what is the angle covered by my hour hand. Understood? And I will write the difference between them. Am I correct or not? See here, if I assume that this angle is some alpha and this angle is some beta. Now tell me, what is the angle between these two hands? Alpha minus beta, right? Alpha minus beta. Then I can say that this is the angle between two hands of the clock. This is the angle between two hands of the clock. Now same here. Here x hours, y minutes. Now here we will use the concept of speeds of two hands of the clock. What is the speed of my hour hand? Earlier we discussed half degree per minute. Okay, hour hand speed is what? Half degree per minute. What is the speed of my minute hand? It is 6 degree per minute. In our previous discussion we learned this one. Okay, now x hours and y minutes we have time. So how we are going to find here? See here, let us assume that the angle between two hands of the clock is some theta. I will use the symbol mod. The reason is sometimes my hour hand may travel more distance or sometimes my minute hand may travel more distance. So I will take angle covered by angle covered by hour hand minus angle covered by minute hand. Okay, good, superb. Now, one basic understanding, students, here, please observe here. When the time is 2 o'clock, my hour hand, my minute hand will be exactly on 12. When it comes to my hour hand, already it will be on 2, right? When the time is 2 o'clock, that means priorly, my hour hand will travel what distance? 30 and 30, it will already travel 60 degrees. Am I correct or not? When the time is exactly 2 o'clock, I am speaking that when the time is exactly 2 o'clock, my hour hand will already travel what distance? 60 degrees. 60 degrees. The reason is my hour hand will be on 2 and my minute hand will be on 12. Okay. So now keeping that thing in our mind, angle covered by my minute hand, hour hand. What will be the angle covered by hour hand for us here? So 2 into, sorry, not 2, here it is x hours, right? So x into 30 degrees, x into 30 degrees. So already my hour hand will travel what distance here? 30 degrees. Why? Because why I am using x into 30 means here it is 220, so 2 into 30. Already it will travel what distance? 60 degrees. Similarly here also x into 30 degrees plus during this y minutes, that means during this 20 minutes, will my hour hand stay on 2 or it will start moving towards 3? Definitely it will start moving towards 3. Definitely it will start moving towards 3. And how much degrees it will move means what is hour hand speed? Half degree per minute. Half degree per minute. So in 1 minute it will travel what distance? Half degrees. So now tell me in 10 minutes how many degrees it will travel in general? It will travel 5 degrees. Am I correct or not? So similarly in y minutes it will travel what distance? Y into 1 by 2 degree. This is the angle covered by my hour hand. This is the angle covered by my hour hand minus, see, anyway my minute hand will be on 12 and it will start counting from 12 only. So in y minutes my minute hand will travel what distance? In 1 minute it will travel 6 degrees. In 1 minute it travels 6 degrees. So in y minutes it will travel y into 6 degrees. In y minutes it will travel y into 6 degrees. So from this what I will get here? 30x plus y by 2 minus 6y. When you solve this, what you will get here? 30x plus LCM is 2, y minus 12y. So what happens to this? Modulus of 30x minus 11y by 2. This is the formula for angle between two hands of the clock. Okay, theta is equal to modulus of 30x minus 11y by 2. By using this formula only, we are going to find the angle between two hands of the clock at any given time. Here x is hours and y is minutes. X is hours and y is minutes. Understood, students? So simply by substituting in this formula, we will get the answer. See here, angle covered by my hour hand means x into 30 degrees. The reason is already my hour hand will travel some distance. If you, for example, if you want to find the angle between two hands of the clock at some 340, already my hour hand will be on 3 and my minute hand will be on 12, and from that instance they will start moving towards, hour hand will move towards 4 and my minute hand will come to 8, right? So from that only we are going to get our final answer. So in this manner we are going to write the formula for angle between two hands of the clock as 30x minus 11y by 2. And here remember few things, students, few important things. Our angle should be always less than or equal to 180 degrees. Okay. If the angle while calculating, if we get a value greater than 180 degrees means immediately subtract it from 360 degrees and then write your final answer. Okay, understood? Right. Next. Okay, sir. So we will see some random examples, students, now. What is the angle between two hands of the clock at? What is the angle between two hands of the clock at 10:25? at 10:25. What is the two hands of the clock at angle between two hands of the clock at 10:25? Now we will try to solve this one. So we know that what is the formula for theta? Modulus of 30x minus 11y by 2. Okay, here 30 into 10 minus 11 into 25 by 2. 11 into 25 by 2. Now when you solve this, what you will get here? 300 minus 25 11s are 275. 275 by 2. What you are going to get here? 137.5 degrees. 137.5 degrees you will get. So now what happens to this? When I solve this one, 162.5 degrees. The angle between two hands of the clock will become how much for us? 162.5 degrees. 162.5 degrees. In this manner, we are going to write the angle between two hands of the clock. Sometimes if we get a negative value, also don't mind here. Why? Because already we have mod, so we will directly write the positive value. And remember one more thing, if you get a value greater than 180 degrees, immediately subtract it from 360 degrees and then write your final answer. Okay, next. Okay, well, good. Now here we will have the cases. What is the cases means? See here, the first one is two hands of the clock coinciding case. The two hands of the clock coincide. Now what is this coinciding case, students? See here, when we can say that two hands of the clock are coinciding or together and straight line. When we can say together and straight line means when the angle between them is 0 degrees. That means if they are one over the other, then I can say that the two hands of the clock are coinciding each other, right? Okay, so now this coinciding phenomenon, usually, see this is nothing but theta is equal to 0 degrees. Okay, this is nothing but theta is equal to 0 degrees. Now, when the two hands of the clock coincide each other in every 1 hour, means, see generally the two hands of the clock coincide for once in every 1 hour interval, but in 12 hours they coincide for only 11 times. See, generally what happens is this phenomenon, that means the coinciding of hands occur once in every 1 hour. So that means what? In 12 hours they should coincide for 11 times. Sorry, they should coincide for 12 times. But in this case they are coinciding only for 11 times. What is the reason behind that? Means, please observe here, students. Between every 1 hour they will coincide for once. There is no doubt in that. Coinciding means coming one over the other. But when between the time 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, what is the time difference we have here? 2 hours, right? So usually this phenomenon should occur twice in these 2 hours also. But we will have a common coinciding point exactly at 12 o'clock. When the time is 12 o'clock, what will happen? My two hands of the clock will be one over the other. So that means because of this common coinciding point between 11 and 1, we are having only 11 coinciding points, or the two hands of the clock will coincide only for 11 times. 11 times. Understood, students? Because of this common one, we are considering the two hands of the clock are coinciding only for 11 times. We are losing one coinciding point between 11 and 1. Okay. Now, how the questions will be asked in this from this concept means, see here, at what time between 3 and 4 the two hands of clock coincide. At what time between 3 and 4 the two hands of clock coincide? This is the question. We don't know exactly at what time those two hands will coincide. So what we will consider is, let us assume that the two hands will coincide at 3 o'clock A minutes. Let us assume that the two hands of the clock will that means 3:20, 3:30 like that, some 3 o'clock A minutes. So now what we will consider is, we know that when the two hands of the clock coincide, what will be the angle between them? 0 degrees. So the formula for theta is equal to what? Modulus of 30x minus 11y by 2. And we know that already theta is equal to 0. So now what I am going to do here? 0 is equal to 30 into hours is what? 3 minus 11a by 2. 11a by 2. So from this what I can write now? 90 minus 11a by 2 is equal to 0. Anyway, when I send mod to other side, usually it will become plus or minus. Here plus 0 or minus 0. No problem for us. So directly I am writing it as 0. So now what happens next to this one? When I send 11a by 2 to the other side, it will become 11a by 2 is equal to 90. So a value will become what? 180 by 11. A value becomes 180 by 11. So now a value will become what for me here? 16. Okay. 4 by 11 minutes. When I solve this one 180 by 11, it will become 16 4 by 11 minutes. That means the two hands of the clock between 3 and 4 coincides at 3 o'clock, 16 4 by 11 minutes. At this time, the two hands of the clock will coincide. So remember students, if they ask you any question based on at what time between some 4 and 5, usually they will ask like this only. 6 and 7, 8 and 9 means simple. Assume the time as 3 o'clock A minutes. Between 3 and 4 means any time between 3 and 4, usually how you will tell? 3:10, 3:15, 3:20 like that only, right? So in the similar manner, I am assuming my time as some 3 o'clock A minutes and then simply substituting the values there in the formula. Understood? Right. This is the first case when the two hands of the clock are coinciding each other, or they may also use together and straight line. Together and straight line. They may also use the word together and straight line. This also indicates the same thing, coinciding case only. Okay. Next case. Second case. Two hands are opposite to each other. Exactly opposite to each other or opposite to each other. Opposite means what? Straight line and opposite also we can call. That means they both will be like this. Now tell me what will be the angle between them? 180 degrees, right? When the two hands coincides, the angle between them is 0 degrees. When the two hands are opposite to each other, then the angle between them will become what? 180 degrees for us here. So now the angle between the two hands of the clock is how much? 180 degrees. Similarly, how the two hands of the clock coincide once in every 1 hour. Similarly here also, see, for every 1 hour time interval, the two hands are opposite to each other for once. Now with this logic, usually it should happen in 12 hours, it should happen for how many times? 12 times. But here also, but in 12 hours, they coincide, they are opposite, right? They are opposite to each other for 11 times. Now, where this phenomenon occurs, what happens in this case? Means, see here students, usually I told you every 1 hour this will happen for once, but in 12 hours this thing is happening only for 11 times. What is the reason behind that? We see here, this phenomenon usually occurs once in every all these time intervals, but when it comes to time interval between 5 and 7, what is the time difference between 5 and 7? 2 hours. 2 hours. In generally, this opposite case also occurs twice, should occur twice between this 5 and 7. But we will have a common straight line point that is exactly at 6 o'clock. When the time is 6 o'clock, we know that the two hands of the clock will be exactly opposite to each other. There will be a common straight line point, opposite point between 5 and 7, that is at 6 o'clock. Okay, here it is losing one opposite case. Because of that reason, we are having only 11 opposite cases. 11 opposite cases. So it's the same case. We will see with an example. We will take 5 and 6 only for your understanding. At what time between 5 and 6 the two hands of clock are opposite to each other. This is the question. The two hands of the clock are opposite to each other. Now we know that when the two hands of the clock are opposite to each other, the angle between them will become what? 180 degrees. Okay, good. Next, at what time? Between 5 and 6 means how we will take 5 o'clock A minutes. 5 o'clock A minutes. Now here, what is the formula for theta? We have theta is equal to 30x minus 11y by 2. Theta is equal to 30x minus 11y by 2. So from this what I can write now, see here students, 180 degrees. So here 30 into 5 minus 11a by 2. 30 into 5 minus 11a by 2. Okay. So now usually students, what happens here is when you send mod to the other side, it will become plus or minus. So for your understanding, I will take both plus and minus, but usually we will get the same answer for both plus and minus. Okay, we will see it now. See here, I will take first of all 30x means 30 into 5 means what I can write? 150. 150 minus 11a by 2 is equal to, I will take 180, and next 150 minus 11a by 2 is equal to, I will take minus 180. Anyway, we will get the same answers for both the cases. Now when I write 11a by 2 is equal to, this will become what? Minus 30. Why? Because 11a by 2 will be sent to that side and minus 30 will come to this side. Next, when I solve the same thing here, what happens? Please see here. 11a by 2 is equal to 330. 11a by 2 is equal to 330. Sir, we have here minus 30. Minus 30. How we can convert it into positive means simply subtract it from 360. Why? Because see here students, we know that if this is a general quadrant representation, if I move plus 330, I assume that clockwise as plus and anti-clockwise as minus. See, clockwise means what? In this manner. For time being, assume. See, from here if I move 330 degrees, this is 90, 180, 270, 330 means it will come up to here. This is in clockwise, I am moving 330. Now if I move anti-clockwise in 30 degrees also, I will come to the same position, right? I will come to the same position. That means plus 330 or minus 30, both are same. Anyway, time we cannot write in negative. So I will write this minus 30 into a positive one. So what happens to this? See here, 11a by 2 is equal to 360 minus 30. What it becomes? 330. The same thing, 330 and 330. Understood? So whether you take plus value or minus value, you will get the same answer, students. No need to worry, go with any one value in the examination. So 11 ones, 11 30s. So a value will become what for me here? 60. See, 5 o'clock 60 minutes means what is the time? 5 o'clock 60 minutes means exactly 6 o'clock. Exactly 6 o'clock. So it is verified, right? At what time between 5 and 6 the two hands of the clock coincide with each other means, straight line with each other means, opposite and straight line means 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock. Okay, simple. If they give that together or word coincide means take 180 degrees, 0 degrees. If they use the word opposite to each other or straight line and opposite to each other, take theta as 180 degrees. And one more thing, they may ask you these general questions. Usually the UPSC may ask or may not ask. They may ask us in the case of statements. In 24 hours, the two hands of the clock coincide for how many times? In 12 hours, they are coinciding for 11 times. So in 24 hours, they will coincide for 22 times. Similarly, in 2 hours, the two hands of the, in 24 hours, in a day, the two hands of the clock are opposite to each other for how many times? In 12 hours, they are 11 times opposite to each other. In a day means 22 times opposite to each other. Okay, sometimes they may also ask like this. In a day, the two hands of the clock are straight line to each other in how many times? For how many times? Straight line, only use the word straight line. See here students, only straight line means Together case will come as straight line and opposite also comes under straight line. So 22 plus 22 what it becomes? 44 times. 44 times. Only straight line means both, we should consider both our coinciding case and opposite case. Why? Because in both the cases they are straight line to each other, right? If they coincide, they will be one over the other, they are in straight line. If they are exactly opposite to each other, then also they are in a straight line. So if you use only the word straight line means 44 times. Coinciding means 22 times. Opposite to each other means 22 times. Right? Next one. Except this 0 degrees and 180 degrees. Okay, write a note. Except 0 degrees and 180 degrees, all the remaining angles occurs twice in every 1 hour. Okay, except 0 degrees and 180 degrees, all the remaining angles occurs twice in every 1 hour. Okay, good. Now tell me, right angle means what? Right angle means a general case, 90 degrees. So, from this logic, from this statement, what we can say is our right angles also should occur twice in every 1 hour, right? So, in 12 hours they should occur for 24 times. 24 times. So, two hands, this is the third case, are in right angles. When the two hands of the clock are in right angles. So, now see here students, occurs twice in every 1 hour, right? So, in 12 hours they should occur for how many times? 24 times. In 12 hours they should occur for how many times? 24 times. But, so the two hands of the clock will be in right angles twice in every 1 hour. Here also we will have some exceptional case students, but in 12 hours they will be in right angles for only 22 times. Where this right angles, two right angles, where we are losing these two right angles. Where we are losing these two right angles means, see here students, as I have already told you, between every 1 hour time interval we will get two right angles. Two right angles. But if you observe carefully, between 2 and 4 and as well as between 8 and 10, what is the time difference here? 2 hours. What is the time difference here? 2 hours. So, this right angle should occur for how many times? 4 times. 4 times. But we will have a right angle between 10 and 9, we will have a right angle between 8 and 9. And we will have a common right angle that is exactly at 9 o'clock. And similarly, we will have a right angle here and here, and we will have a common right angle that is exactly at 3 o'clock. That is exactly at 3 o'clock. Because of this reason, because of these two common right angles, we are losing one right angle here and we are losing one right angle here. So, that is the reason we will have only 22 right angles. We will have only 22 right angles in 12 hours. In a day, how many right angles means? 44 right angles in a day. 44 right angles in a day. Okay, now where we will see these questions? Now see here. At what time between 10 and 11, two hands of the clock are in right angles. This is the question for us students. At what time between 10 and 11 the two hands of the clock are in right angles. See, when the right angle, when we can say when they are in right angles means if the angle between them is some 90 degrees. 10 and 11 means we will assume that 10 o'clock a minutes is the time. We know what is the formula for angle between two hands of the clock. Theta is equal to modulus of 30x minus 11y by 2. Theta is equal to modulus of 30x minus 11y by 2. Now what happens? See here, when I substitute, when I send mod to the other side, it will become what? Plus or minus. Here we should take both plus and minus. Understood students? In the case of 180 degrees, it doesn't matter for us whether we go with plus 180 or minus 180. Why? Because anyway, we will have only one straight line case. But apart from 0 and 180, all the angles will occur twice. One is for plus value and the other one is for minus value. Keep that thing in your mind. So what we will do, we will write them separately. So 30x means what in this case? 30 into 10 minus y is a. So 11a by 2, that is equal to, I will take plus 90 here, and similarly 30 into 10 minus 11a by 2, that is equal to minus 90. I will take both plus and minus values here, students. So now what happens to this for me? 300, I will send 11a by 2 to that side, and minus 90 is equal to 11a by 2. Okay, and similarly I will send minus 90 to this side. So what happens? 300 plus 90 is equal to 11a by 2. 11a by 2. Now please observe here, students, what I will get here. 11a by 2 is equal to 210 and 11a by 2 is equal to 390. Now here, students, we will not have any problem with this one. See here, what you will get here. 11a is equal to 420, a is equal to 420 by 11. So what will happen for us here? 3s are 33, we will be left with 9. So 8s are 88, so 2 by 11. So one time there is no problem for us. Now please observe this one, students. Here I have 390 degrees. Usually a clock contains how many degrees? 360 degrees, right? Maximum complete angle is 360. But here I have 390 degrees. So please be careful here, students. At this point only, at this point 11a by 2, at this point, please write this one 390 degrees. Can I also say that 390 degrees has 30 degrees? One complete rotation is 360. After it will come to, once again, if it moves 360 degrees, it will come to the same position once again. From there it will move how much distance? 30 degrees. So whenever you see this type of values, what this 390, I will write this as 390 minus 360. That is what? 30 degrees. So always please be careful. This 11a by 2 at this point, mark this as star or whatever you want. This is very, very important, students. Whenever you have value 11a by 2, make sure that that value is less than or equal to 360 degrees. If you get a value greater than 360 degrees, do like this. If you get a value in negative also, we already discussed in our previous case. So now what happens to this one? Actually 11a by 2 will become what? 30 degrees. Why I am writing 30 degrees means when in a circular rotation, 390 degrees or 30 degrees, both are same. See here, students. Assume that I am in this position. If I move 360 degrees, once again I will come to the same position. From here I am moving more 30 degrees. That will become what? 390 degrees. Understood? The same logic. So now what happens to this one? 11a is equal to 60. A is equal to 60 by 11. So 5 by 11 minutes. So both the answers are correct. At 10 o'clock, 38 2 by 11 minutes, my two hands of the clock will be 90 degrees, and at the same time at 10 o'clock, 5 by 11 minutes also, my two hands of the clock will be in right angles. Understood, students? So both the answers are correct. In the examination they may give us both the answers, or they will specifically mention between 11:30 instead of 10 and 11, they will say that between 10 and 10:30 means what will be your answer? 5:15. Between 10:30 and 11 means what will be your answer? 36 2 by 11. 36 2 by 11. So based on the question, choose the things. Both the answers are correct. Sometimes they may give us both the answers also. Okay, understood? Remember this point and our negative case. These two are very, very important. Why? Because all the students will know what is this 90 degrees, 0 degrees, 180 degrees, more or less. But this conversions is very, very important. Why? Because if you don't do this conversion, what happens here? 11a by 2 is equal to what it becomes? 390. You multiply this one, what is the result? We will have 780. And a will become what? 780 by 11. 780 by 11. So 780 by 11 means what will be the time? 7 t 10 by 11 minutes. Will we have 70 minutes in our clock? Will we have 70 minutes in our clock? No. So please be careful, students. Whenever you come across these type of cases, immediately subtract 360 from this and get the value below 360 and then solve it. For example, if you have any value something like 750 for instance, until and unless you get a value less than 360, go on subtracting 360 from it. Okay, right? This is the case of 90 degrees. Right, next one. These are the questions. Usually they will ask us from the topic called this one. Okay, now how we will decide whether the clock is fast moving or slow moving? This is very, very important, student. The next one is fast moving clocks, moving and slow moving or gaining or losing clock. We will see what is this case and what is the basic understanding behind that. Now see here, usually the two hands of the clock coincide for how many times in 12 hours? We already discussed. It will coincide 11 times in 12 hours. Okay, write the note and we will try to verify it, students. Okay, the two hands of the clock coincide for 11 times in 12 hours. We already know this logic. What is the reason behind that? Means at 12 o'clock we are losing one coinciding point. Okay, good. So to coincide for 11 times, it takes how much time? 12 hours. To coincide for 11 times, it is taking how what time? 12 hours. So now to coincide for one time, 12 hours, I will write it as 12 into 60 minutes by 11. I am sending 11 to the other side. So to coincide for one time, it will take what time? 720 by 11. If you solve it, what you will get? 65 5 by 11 minutes. That means a perfect clock. In a perfect clock, the two hands of the clock will coincide for every 65 5 by 11 minutes. Okay. In a perfect clock, the two hands of the clock coincide for every 65 5 by 11 minutes. Okay, how we will check whether the clock is working perfectly or not? Means if the two hands coincide for every 65 5 by 11 minutes, then we can say that the two hands of the watch is working perfectly. So like this we are going to check whether it is a perfect clock or not. This is very, very important, students. The two hands of the clock will coincide for every 65 5 by 11 minutes. Now from this, tell me if a clock coincide in only 64 minutes. If the two hands of a clock in a particular clock coinciding for in only 64 minutes. Now tell me whether it is fast moving or slow moving. If it moves fast, whether it gains the time or loses the time. This is very, very important. See, usually if you want to, you reach your destination in some 65 5 by 11 minutes. Take an example. You reach a destination in some 65 5 by 11 minutes. Now you are reaching the destination in just 64 minutes. Now tell me whether you are moving fast or slow. Obviously fast. Why? Because we know that speed and time are inversely related to each other. Usually you will go to your destination in 65 by 11 minutes, but you are reaching your destination in just 64 minutes. That means the clock is moving fast. Okay, good. When the clock moves fast, whether you gain the time in a day or lose the time in a day. When the clock moves fastly, usually we will lose the time in a day. Sir, how it is possible? See, students, I will tell you a general scenario. For example, tomorrow your examination is at 10 o'clock. Okay. If your watch is moving fast, so before exact 10 o'clock itself in your watch it will show 10 o'clock, right? Why? Because it is moving fastly. So before actual 10 o'clock, your watch will show the time as 10 o'clock. So what you people will do? According to your watch, you will go and sit in the examination hall, right? That means you will go little bit early than the actual time to the examination hall. because of this early attendance to the examination, what will happen is you are losing some time, right? Assume that you reached the destination or you went into the examination hall 10 minutes early. 10 minutes early. So that means without knowing to you, you wasted the 10 minutes, right? Why? Because after going to the examination hall, definitely you need to wait for more 10 minutes. If you know that that is a wrong clock, or if you follow the correct clock, in the 10 minutes, you will study some other concept or you can revise some other thing, right? That means you are losing the 10 minutes actually without knowing to you. You may think that we reached the destination early, sir. So how we are losing means in the 10 minutes, if you will be able to study some other concept, right? That means you are actually losing the time. So when the clock moves fast, we will lose the time. We will lose the time. When the clock moves slowly, that means for example, if the two hands of the clock are coinciding for every 67 minutes. Now tell me whether the clock is moving fastly or slowly. Usually it should coincide for every 65 5 by 11 minutes. Now the clock is coinciding in 67 minutes. That means the clock is moving slowly. When the clock moves slowly, we will gain the time. We will gain the time in a day. When the clock moves fastly, we will lose the time in a day. So please be careful with this, students. There will be a lot of confusion between these two things. Okay, write as a note. First one, if the two hands of clock coincide in a time less than 65 5 by 11 minutes, then the clock will lose the time in a day. Please be careful, students. Definitely it will lose the time in a day. Second one, if the two hands of clock coincide in a time more than 65 5 by 11 minutes, then the clock gains the time in a day. So please be careful with this, students. There will be a lot of confusion even in some websites or any other thing. There will be a little bit confusion between these two areas. Please be careful. Always, if the time coinciding time is less than 65 by 11 minutes, it will lose the time in a day. If the coincide more than in a time more than 65 5 by 11 minutes, definitely it will gain the time in a day. Okay. Now we will see with an example. If the two hands of the clock coincides for every 64 minutes, then in a day, then what time it will gain or lose in a day. This is the question for us. First of all, we should decide whether it will gain or lose. Now the time is 64 minutes. 64 minutes means definitely it will lose the time. Less than 65 5 by 11 means lose the time. Losing. And how much it will lose in a day? We will see it. See here. For every 64 minutes, it will lose what time means actual time is what? 65 5 by 11 minus, now here it is coinciding for only 64 minutes, right? So 65 5 by 11 minus 64. This much time it will lose for every 64 minutes. It will lose for every 64 minutes this much time. So what it will become? 1 5 by 11 minutes. Okay. In a day means how many minutes? In a day means 24 into 60 minutes. It will lose what time? See here, students, in 64 minutes, it will lose 1 5 by 11. 1 5 by 11 means I will write this as 16 by 11 minutes. I will write this as 16 by 11, 1 5 by 11. So in a day means what? 24 into 60 minutes. I don't know. I will consider it as some x. I will consider it as some x. Now cross multiply it. What you will get here? 16 by 11 into 24 into 60 is equal to 64 into x. 64 into x. Now what happens here? 16 ones, 16 fours, 4 ones, 4 6. So what is the x value I will get here overall? 360 by 11. 360 by 11. When I solve this one, what I will get here? 3 times is 33. So I will be left with 30. So 2 times is 28. 8 by 11 minutes. That means in a day, it will lose what time? In a day, it will lose 30 to 8 by 11 minutes. In a day, it will lose 30 to 8 by 11 minutes. Okay. Similarly, if the time is more than 60, say 65 5 by 11 minutes, what we will do? We will see here. For example, if the two hands are coinciding, only 66 minutes. These are two standard things, students. In most of the cases, they will ask either 64 or 66. So I am taking those two examples here. So 66 minutes means whether it is more than 65 5 by 11 or less than 65 5 by 11, more than 65 5 by 11. So obviously here it will gain. Okay, how much it will gain? That means therefore for every 66 minutes. See, in the previous case that is 64 minutes. So I have taken 64 minutes. Here it is 66 minutes. For every 66 minutes, it will gain what time? 66 minus standard one is 65 5 by 11. So that means for every 66 minutes, it will gain what? 66 minus 65 5 by 11. 65 plus 1. If I consider 65 will get cancelled. I will have 1 minus 5 by 11. 1 minus 5 by 11 means it will become what? 6 by 11 minutes. That means for every 66 minutes, it will gain 6 by 11 minutes. Now in a day, similarly they will ask for a day. In a day means what? 24 into 60. That is equal to some x. Same as is cross multiply. 66 into x is equal to 24 into 60 into 6 by 11. Now cancel it. 11, 6 ones are, 6 11s are. Okay, so x is equal to 24 6 are 144 0 by 11 11s are 121. 121. So now when I solve this one, what I will get? X is equal to 121. Ones are 121. I will be left with more here. How much? 23. 230. 230 means once again once 11 times. It will become what for me? 109. So 11 109 by 121 minutes. That means in a day it will gain this much time. If the two hands coincides for every 66 minutes. For every 66 minutes, then our answer will become 11,109 by 121 minutes. 11,101 by 121 minutes. So from this concept only we will have that fast moving and slow moving clocks, students. Okay. We will have that fast moving and slow moving clock, students. See students, this series is dedicated to CSAT. We are not going in depth into this one. We will have some other set of videos for this clocks concept where we will deal with the minute small problems also in that one. Here we are majorly focusing on the clocks concept, taking CSAT as our major examination. Okay. So for that this knowledge is enough. Okay. We will have some practice questions or the previous year's questions in our next session. Okay. Right. So please watch that video. This is the basics, students. The entire clocks concept depends on this only. What are the things which we have learnt here, students? Angle between two hands of the clock. The only formula is theta is equal to modulus of 30x minus 11y by 2. This is very important. And in a perfect clock, the two hands will coincide for every 65 5 by 11 minutes. In a perfect clock, the two hands will coincide for every 65 5 by 11 minutes. If they coincide in a time less than 65 5 by 11 minutes, means they will lose the time in a day. If they coincide in a time greater than 65 5 by 11 minutes means they will gain the time in a day. Understood? So these are the two major things. In our next session, we will see some problems and we will also see the previous year's questions. Right? Thank you very much. We will see in our next session. Thank you.